Triggers and stored procedures. Let's talk about the triggers first. In database, the trigger is a procedure that will execute it automatically when something happens in your database. The something I'm referring to is that you can insert the data, or you update the data or delete the data in your database. Let's take an example. The trigger can be used in the auditing purpose. As the system keeps running, you will keep modifying the data in the database. For some reason, you may want to know the answer of following questions. Who modified the price of the milk to $320? It's crazy. I suppose it's $3.20. You want to know who made the change? What is the time to make this change so we know the impact? Then the trigger is useful in this place. Trigger can use it to audit your database. Let's say if someone update the database, of course we're talking about update is update through some information system rather than typing the SQL. Then the trigger will be executed and it can record the changes in a log in the database. So the type is update and the username who made the change is WG Peter, and the time is 2nd of May. Old value is $8, the new value is $3.20. So you can record this one, and then when you find the data has a problem, you can go back to check. To create a trigger in Visual Paradigm is easy. You just go to the triggers item on the toolbar, drag and drop into the diagram, and then you will create the triggers. Please note that this is a triggers, not single trigger. It is a container of a set of trigger. So the triggers is a logical container. Then you can write a lot of trigger inside. After you give the name of the triggers, then you can right click to new the trigger, and you can also use the shortcut key alternate Shift and T pressed together. Then you enter the name of the trigger, and again you right click on the trigger, open the specification, or you press enter. Then you go to the specification dialog box to enter your trigger, and after that you can click OK to finish to the trigger creation. Please be reminded that the trigger is running in a database, so the things, the create statement you write in this dialog box should be follow exactly the syntax of your database. If you're using Oracle, you use Oracle standard. If you're running on Microsoft SQL, you use SQL standard. So make sure write the correct trigger. Then we move on to talk about the stored procedure. As its name, stored procedure is a pre-written procedure code that allows you to execute over and over again. It is very useful to do some validation or quick retrieval of data. Here I talk about quick retrieval. Then I will show you an example that we get some data with a calculation. Then you can do it in a database level rather than in application level. Let's take a look on our example. We have a photo table to store the photo, and you see there is a member ID column storing who upload the photo, who own the photo, and we have a privacy column which shows the visibility of the photo. Say public is everyone can browse a photo. Only you, that means only you, the owner, can view the photo. Friends means someone in your circle or in your contact list, then they can view your photo. And the third column is the view. This is the view count. Then imagine you want to produce a chart like that. You're showing the member by member their view count of the public photo, private photo, and friends photo. Then you need to do a lot of database query. You can imagine you need to get the member and then collect their photos and then add the counts up. You need to do it in the application. And if you're doing the application, that's fine, but you need to make sure the performance, then maybe you do it in the database is a better solutions. Then you can write a stored procedure, say this is a get photo views, and then it will return the data set which contains the member ID, which you want to collect, and the public count, just the count. It doesn't tell a single photo. Your own count, this is the private photo, and the friend count, which is showing the photos for your friends, how many views. To create a stored procedure in Visual Paradigm is very similar to the trigger. You just drag the stored procedure from diagram toolbar to the diagram and name it. Same as the triggers. The stored procedures is a container which contains one or more than one procedure. So it is a logical container. Then you right click to new a procedure, or alternate shift P as a shortcut to create. Then enter the name and open the specification, or hit the enter key. Then you will see the dialog box of the specification. You can see the procedure. You can write the procedure like that. This is an example that you declare some variables and you create a temporary table. Remember, the procedure is running in the database, so you can do whatever you like in the database level. You just create a table, and then you fetch the data, and then calculate the sum, insert into the table, and then continue the loop. Then you return the information to the query user. To doing in database level, that can keep the performance very good, and also can make use of internal information rather than get a lot of data and then do the processing in the application server. And finally, you just click the OK to confirm the procedure creation. Let's summarize what we talked about in this lecture. We talk about what is a trigger, just basic ideas about the trigger and give an auditing example, and how to create a trigger. And then I talk about what is a procedure and give an example that you collect the view count of different types of photos, and show you how to create a procedure in Visual Paradigm.